Hi, this is my ritualist Somnos Renoshi, and in this narrative I'm going to take you through the events of Guild Wars Factions. In order to tell the story correctly, we must obviously start at the very beginning 200 years ago, and this story revolves around a man named Shiro Tagachi. He was noticed by Emperor Anxian because of his extraordinary weapon skills and was assigned to join the Imperial Guard as the Emperor's personal bodyguard. Shiro was also the most important part of the peace treaties forged by the Emperor between the Kurzick and Luxan factions. During her service to the Emperor, a demon sent by Abaddon had disguised itself as a fortune teller and read Shiro's future on several occasions, eventually telling him he would be killed by the Emperor at the Harvest Temple. This caused him to turn to forbidden magic, which led to his madness. Thinking he was trying to prevent his own death, he struck down the Emperor with his enchanted blades at the Harvest Festival and absorbed Emperor Anxian's soul, along with the powerful magic granted to him by Duena. A ritualist was able to strike the gong, alerting the guards outside the temple. Shiro killed most of them until the Luxan champion Archimedes and Kurzick champion Victor were left. The assassin Vizu crippled Shiro, and the two champions killed Shiro with his own blades. Imbued with the magic he stole from the Emperor and releasing the energy of the harvest ceremony, his death caused the Jade Wind, turning the sea into jade and petrifying the Echo Vault Forest. After his death, the Oracle of the Mist turned him into an envoy as punishment. The envoys ferry newly released souls into the mist and do this until their penance for their mortal crimes have been absolved. Skip ahead 200 years, and now Master Togo, a skilled ritualist, asks for aid from heroes to identify the threats that plague Kantha. I answer his call, and after completing my training in the Shinjei Monastery, he tells me to head to Minister Cho's estate, which is customary to introduce to him the most prominent student every year. We go to his estate and realize that a disease has spread through his servants. We head in to find what has happened to the minister and see he has turned into a diseased creature, and we are forced to destroy him. Master Togo is determined to find the source of this new disease, and the search takes us to the Zen Daijun Holy Valley. We push through the afflicted creatures and avoid the miasma in the area. After clearing the afflicted protecting the Daijun library, we find the guild symbol of Shiro Tagachi etched onto the floor. We leave Shinjei Isle and head to Kaineng City to warn Emperor Kizu, Togo's half-brother, but we find we are too late. The disease has spread throughout the city. Our search leads us to Vizuno Square, where the citizens are becoming afflicted. As we try to fend off the afflicted, Master Togo's former student, Brother Menlo, and his friends, Devona, Aiden, Eve, and Sin, catch up and help us push deeper into the square. Here we destroy a large group of afflicted, but afterwards Shiro manifests himself, kills everyone, and leaves. Moments later, the other envoys resurrect us and reveal Shiro is twisting the souls he has charged in escorting into the mist, into his constructs. By restoring our lives, the envoys hold us to an oath. In exchange for our lives, we must stop Shiro. We must become Wei no Su, or closer to the stars to see and fight Shiro. In order to go through the rite, we must find Sun, the Oracle of the Mists. We are directed to the Nipui Quarter to find him. In order to become Wei no Su, we must fight against the celestial creatures, Taijun Dan, the Kirin, the embodiment of corruption, a creature of pure good turned to pure evil. Huang Sang, the Turtle Dragon, the eternal paradox, not one thing nor the other. Hai Ji, the Phoenix, the representation of fire eternity awaiting in the underworld. And Tamu, the dragon, a reminder of atrocity, pain, and anguish. Once we completed the trials, Sun tells us to seek guidance from the spirits of the ancient heroes of Kantha at the Tanakai Temple. When we arrive, we see Shiro has beaten us there and twisted the spirits of the heroes into his constructs, the Shiroken. However, the spirit of Vizu is still resisting Shiro's attempt to bind her. We manage to save Vizu, and she tells us in order to defeat Shiro, we must obtain the artifacts one wielded by the champions of the Kurzicks and Luxans who killed him. We must obtain the urn of St. Victor and the spear of Archimedes. The urn is in the Kurzick lands, which encompass the petrified Echo Vault Forest, while the spear is in the protection of the Luxans in the solidified Jade Sea. Master Togo assigns Brother Menlo to recover the urn from the Kurzicks, while he makes preparations to retrieve the spear. I go with Menlo since he is friends with Count Zuhelzer, one of the leaders of the Kurzicks. We learn that the daughter of the Count, Danica, is in the Imperial City, so we seek her aid to lead us to her father. We follow her into the forest where she leads us to him to discuss the urn. The Kurzick nation are very religious in their worship of the 5 gods of Tyria. They are at war with the Luxon armada over amber and jade solidified when the Jade Wind passed. The Kurzicks are focused on protecting and restoring the petrified forest to how it was. They build with the petrified trees, and only a few original stone structures remain from the time before the Jade Wind. The Count tells us we may take the urn to stop Shiro, but in order to get it we have to travel to Cathedral Zuhalzer in Arborstone, which has fallen to the hostile denizens of the forest. Since the magical wards of the cathedral haven't been maintained, they no longer recognize Kurzicks as friendly. Danica offers her assistance to open the sealed doors of Cathedral Zuhalzer. Once inside, we easily obtain the urn, but on our way out, the cathedral begins to collapse as the wards begin to awaken. We are cut off from Menlo, but Danica leads us to another exit. After battling the wards, we escape the ruins. With the urn safely in our possession, Master Togo turns up and tells us we must head to the Borea seabed to meet with Alderea of the Luxons. The Luxon Armada were a seafaring nation before the Jade Wind. Since the sea has now become solid jade, they could no longer use their ships to transport goods because they became locked in the jade. They were forced into becoming nomads and mine jade from the sea. When we meet with Alderea, she tells us in order to obtain the Spear of Archimedes, we must participate in the Convocation. This event is where the Luxon champions of each clan fight each other for the right to take the spear and use it to slay the Kraken Zu-Hanugu. Alderea allows us to enter into the competition, and after defeating all 3 clans, we take the spear and defeat Zu-Hanugu, sending it back into the depths of the Jade Sea. Menlo comes to inform us the afflicted are moving into the Sungjang district. We head there immediately and find Shiro is trying to open rifts to bring more bound spirits to the mortal realm. We quickly close the rifts, and at the last one, Shiro is waiting for us there. He binds himself to his Shirokin, and using the artifacts we defeat all 3 constructs, and the rift closes. Since he had bound himself to the constructs, it looks as though Shiro is defeated, but the envoys appear, confirming that Shiro has only been set back. The artifacts aren't powerful enough to defeat him, and the only way to end his reign of terror is to bring the Kurzicks and Luxons together to combine their forces to defeat his army. In order to get both sides to cooperate, Master Togo heads back to Rhea, and Brother Menlo goes to the Count to convince the factions to aid each other in this threat. I first chose to go with Menlo, and we were guided by Count Zuhalzer to find 3 volunteers and escort them to the Eternal Grove. A ritual can be performed there to transform them into Juggernauts. A Juggernaut is a plant construct created with the soul of the volunteer and tying it to the forever trees in the grove. As long as the forever tree lives, the Juggernaut is immortal, returning to life beside the tree if destroyed. During the ceremony, Luxons raid the site to destroy the trees, effectively destroying the creation of future Juggernauts. We hold them off, but soon they surrender to us instead of falling back. They have done this because an afflicted army has flanked them from behind, cutting off their escape route. With the help of the Luxons, we destroy the afflicted and convince both sides to help Master Togo in the Harvest Temple. They agree and head to the Unwaking Waters. If I had chosen to help the Luxons, we head with Togo to consult with Alderea, and in order to gain her trust we must help in delivering eggs of giant turtles to the Gaila hatchery, and escort newly hatched turtles to the Leviathan pits. The Kurzicks have set up several ambushes to prevent the young turtles from growing up and becoming Luxon siege turtles. Once we reach the Leviathan pits, the ambushes become a full-fledged battle between the 2 sides. However, the Kurzicks are attacked from behind from an army of afflicted. The only way both factions could survive is to work together in battling the new threat. It works, and with the afflicted destroyed, Togo tells them not to continue fighting amongst each other and instead turn to the bigger threat from Shiro. They reluctantly agree and will go with Togo to the Harvest Temple, where Shiro released the Jade Wind to seek guidance from the ancient dragon there. United, both factions enter the temple to speak with the ancient dragon Kunavang. Unfortunately, Shiro beat us there as well, and Kunavang has been corrupted. We battle against the afflicted, Shirokin, and the dragon's attacks before reaching the top of the temple. Here we fight against Kunavang until we break Shiro's control. She offers her help and tells us the reason Shiro was attacking these areas was because he was searching for the materials for the spell that would make him mortal again. The only thing missing now was to spill the blood of someone from the Imperial bloodline. We rush to the Raisu Palace in Kaineng City, but yet again we are too late. An army of Shirokin has overrun the palace, and Shiro is preparing to enter the Imperial Sanctum, where the Emperor is being protected. Kunabang teaches me a celestial skill to aid in getting to the Emperor in time. Because I am a ritualist, she teaches me to summon the spirits of Archimedes and Saint Victor. With the help of the Tyrian, Kurzick, and Luxan allies, we push through the palace to the Imperial Sanctum as Shiro is about to kill Emperor Kizu. Togo rushes to the Emperor's aid and takes the fatal strike. Realizing Togo is part of the Imperial bloodline and his blood would suffice in completing the spell, he departs, leaving us mourning the death of Master Togo. We then head deeper into the Imperial Sanctum to avenge Togo's death and stop Shiro. Shiro finished his spell and became the deadly threat he was before being struck down 200 years ago. But we realize he was now mortal, which meant he could be killed again. After using the celestial skills against Shiro, we strike down Shiro once again. Soon appears with his acolytes and seals Shiro's body in jade. Then the envoys appear to collect Shiro's soul since he is no longer an envoy and died a mortal death. They tell us they have a special place in the underworld for him to lock him away from the mortal realm. Those were the events of Guild Wars Factions. Thank you for watching, and next I will show you the events of Guild Wars Nightfall.